Anyone can cast a spell and make debt disappear. Ted Rossman, the senior industry analyst at Bankrate.com and creditcards.com, is here to help. Hello to you, Ted. And for someone who's carrying more than $10,000 in credit card debt, what's the best first step?
$10,000, unfortunately, is a lot of credit card debt. The average balance, according to TransUnion, is $5,270. And I think the amount does change the recommended tactics. Normally, if you owe roughly $5,000 or less, my first step would be to get a balance transfer card. These charge 0% interest for up to 21 months in some cases. Examples include the Wells Fargo Reflect, the Bank AmeriCard, and the Citi Diamond Preferred. The problem is once you start passing that $5,000 threshold, you're much less likely to get a high enough credit limit to transfer all of your debt. So that's where in the $10,000 or more range, I think you're an especially good candidate for nonprofit credit counseling. So that would be my top tip in that scenario. Engage with a reputable agency like Money Management International that can give you great advice in exchange for low fees. They can often get you something like a 6% payback plan over 4 or 5 years, and you don't necessarily need great credit.
What would you do next?
A possible alternative, especially if you have good credit and you're comfortable managing this on your own, would be to sign up for a personal loan as a useful form of debt consolidation. If you have good credit, you could probably get something like a 6% rate over 5, 6, even 7 years. So that's a possible DIY approach. But if your credit is not so great, nonprofit credit counseling can do something similar for a wider swath of the population.
If somebody wants to get really aggressive and go after that debt, what would you say?
I think it's important to note here that a penny saved is a penny earned. And when we're talking about credit card debt, it's a lot of pennies. The average credit card right now is charging 18.7%, which is the highest in 30 years. So credit card debt absolutely needs to be at the top of your priority list. You could also consider earning more or spending less. Maybe take on a side hustle for a while, or sell stuff you don't need, or ask for a raise at work. You could also do things like cutting expenses. I especially like the idea of cutting recurring monthly expenses because each of those has 12 times the annual impact of doing that same thing just once. Think of it this way. If you're paying 19% on a credit card, which is right about the national average, every dollar you pay down is a guaranteed tax-free return on that amount. You're probably not going to get 19% in the stock market, at least not without taking on a lot of risk. So that's one of the reasons why credit card debt really needs to be at the top of your priority list.
Thank you, Ted, and happy Halloween.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.